Mitzvah, study their portion that they read, and study something about the day, for example, about Pesach, or something, other relevant idea about Judaism, and they compose their own Dvar Torah, which Noah has done already, and we would like Noah to share with us his words of Torah to the great Torah.
The parsha that I have just read is about how to make sacrifices and how to perform them. The first sacrifices were from Cain and Abel. Cain from the fruits of the ground, and Abel from the choicest of his sheep. Just before the Jews left Egypt, they sacrificed a lamb, which is represented on the Seder plate by the sheepdog. The Jews, after they escaped Egypt, made sacrifices in the desert at the tabernacle. Once Israel was established, they made sacrifices in the Temple of Jerusalem. Those sacrifices ended when the Romans destroyed the Second Temple in 70 CE. The Hebrew word for sacrifice is orlah. It comes from a word meaning to draw near, and is thought to mean that sacrifices draw us nearer to God. The Hebrew word olah also means sacrifice, and comes from a word meaning to rise up. It is thought to mean that we rise closer to God when we make a sacrifice. We no longer sacrifice animals, but we make other types of sacrifices. Why are sacrifices so important? Jews have survived since biblical times against incredible odds. Many people have asked, what is their secret? One reason is the concern and love of Jews for God, and another is the sacrifices Jews have made for other Jews. A recent example of Jewish sacrifice came about after the October 7th attacks. When the attack of October 7th was in progress, and Israelis heard about it, many of them showed great heroism and headed towards the attackers. As soon as the attack started, people young and old leapt into their cars and rushed down to defend the border. They didn't wait to be told. They didn't wait to be called up. They just knew that this is the moment we are called upon to defend our country and to defend the Jewish people. And off they went. Farmers all over Israel had to leave their farms to defend Israel. If no one harvested their crops, they would all rot. For that reason, volunteers from America came to Israel to help. Some people who volunteered went to Israel to pick pomegranates. Judy Heller is a 37-year-old single mother who lived in New York. She never thought she'd pick a pomegranate in her life, but in mid-November, she found herself doing exactly that on a farm in Israel. Driven by the desire to help the country after the October 7th Hamas attack. She said that when she found out about the October 7th attack, she knew she had to do something. She couldn't just sit and watch the war from home. So, she asked her family and friends to watch her 13-year-old son and got on a plane to Israel. That was a very courageous and noble sacrifice she made. Deborah Cohen is another mother who flew to Israel and made a major sacrifice. She was home in Toronto when she got a call from her son Jonathan, who lives in Miami. Mom, I really want to go to Israel. They need our help. She flew to Miami, and on November 20th, the pair flew to Israel to pick eggplants and green and red peppers. There are many Christians who love Israel who also make sacrifices. The most famous of these are 4 real live cowboys. 3 from Montana and 1 from Arkansas. They went to Judea and Samaria to help out on the farms. Just being there was very good for the morale of the people living and gave them strength. Rabbi Seeger and many of our congregants participate in a walk for the hostages every Saturday. That is a great example of caring and sacrifice. We should remember that there are Jews who have made great sacrifices for America as well. One of the most famous Jews who did is Chaim Solomon. Chaim Solomon was a very successful American businessman in the American colonies. He was very patriotic and donated a lot of money to help the American Revolution. In August 1781, George Washington and the main army encountered Rochambeau with his French army, decided to march from the Hudson Highlands to Yorktown to deliver the final blow to the British. But Washington's war chest was empty, as was that of Congress, without food, uniforms, and supplies. Washington's troops were close to mutiny. Washington determined that he needed at least $20,000 to finance the campaign. When he was told that there were no funds or credit available, Washington said, "Send for Chaim Solomon." Solomon raised $20,000. Washington conducted the Yorktown campaign, and that was the final battle of the Revolutionary War. Giving all this money was a tremendous sacrifice, but it was that sacrifice that enabled the Americans to win the Revolutionary War. We make sacrifices for each other because we care about each other. Chaim Solomon cared about American freedom. The people who traveled to Israel to help cared about Israel. This is our source of strength, to be willing to make sacrifices because we care. Following Jewish law involves making sacrifices. We can't always do what we want to do. But on the other hand, it's wonderful to be part of the Jewish community. It is inspiring to be part of a community that has made so many contributions and sacrifices to the world and each other. Thanks to my mother and father for all of their support. And thanks to my grandma, Uncle David, Uncle Gideon for everything. Thank you, Zoe, for being there when I needed. Thank you, Candy Postman, for all the time you spent teaching me. And thank you, Rabbi Siebert, for all your help as well. Thank you all for coming to my bar mitzvah.
Wow. Stay right there. Wow. How do you feel?
Felt pretty good.
That should feel very good. You did magnificently today. You read Torah so beautifully. You gave an incredible Dvar Torah, really beautifully steeped in Jewish history and Jewish tradition. It was really remarkable. And I'd like to say a couple of things about what you did today. First of all, it's significant that you chose to celebrate the coming Bar Mitzvah on Pesach. Pesach is known as Zman Chiruti, the time of our freedom. It doesn't mean that you're celebrating Pesach means that you go free now. That you're going to go, that you're not going to go home, you're going to go to your new apartment that you've just found and go to your new job. You still have to go to school, right? Right. So you still have some time before you're free. But what it means with freedom, what comes with freedom? Oh, you are good. He said responsibility, which is exactly the case. Responsibility is what comes with our freedom. And now that you are free, meaning that you are now an adult member of our community, it means you take on great responsibility. It means, for example, like from now on, you're responsible for the mitzvot. If you fast on Yom Kippur, for example, then it's your action, as opposed to, your parents training you and helping you to do these things. It's now yours. And becoming Bar Mitzvah, being called to the Torah, writing beautiful words of Torah, is your action, it's your commitment, it's your responsibility. And you are clearly taking that responsibility upon yourself in a very beautiful way, and you're challenging us as well to think about what our future means and what it means to be together and to take on responsibility for all of us. There's another thing that I found embedded in your choice to celebrate today on Pesach. What it meant, and the reason why we're here today on a Sunday, a day when we read Torah on a Sunday morning, is because we are concerned and we're committed to family. You knew that if we celebrated your bar mitzvah as we might have done on a Shabbat, not all of your family would be able to be here, and they wouldn't be able to be here and celebrate with you. So you made the choice to celebrate today, together with your family. And that is really beautiful. That means you have shown a commitment to Torah, to the Jewish people, by becoming bar mitzvah, by reading Torah, by learning words and sharing your words of Torah with us. But you also put your family first, and you wanted to include them as well. So you're committed to the Jewish people, and to your family, and now taking responsibility for yourself. So all three levels here. You're growing up and you're becoming a wonderful young man. And setting off on your own. And that's what we did on Pesach. Pesach was the beginning of our people, really. It was the beginning of our time together as a community and as a people. It marked the beginning of time for us. We recite that right before Pesach. We say, that this month, the month of Nisan, when we celebrate Pesach, the first Pesach is going to be the beginning of time for the Jewish people. And it marks the beginning of time for you now as an adult member of our community. One other thing I'd like to say, your name, Noah. What did Noah do? He built an ark, right? And he saved humanity and all of the world and set off into the future. And that began time again for Noah and for the world. So today, you're beginning time for yourself, for your people, for your family, and we hope, actually, that you will begin a new beginning for our world. That you will take your idealism, your love of history, learning from the past, you will take it with you into your future and help us to understand better how we should behave in our world and how we can make this world a better place. You have started us on that journey, and you are going to lead us into the future, I believe, with strength, with vision, with great courage. And we are all very, very proud and very happy to be here today with you, Noah, to wish you Mazal Tov as you become bar mitzvah, as you become a responsible adult member of our community. Mazal Tov. And I have some presents for you. First of all, a certificate of your bar mitzvah signed by myself and the cantor. Certificate presented by Town Village Synagogue to Noah Isaac. Noah Gabriel and Gabriel Gael was called to the Torahs of bar mitzvah Chol Pesach, the 20th day of Nisan, April 28, 2024. You can take that and keep that in a good place. And as I mentioned earlier, you're going on a journey. And when we go on a journey, we need guidance, right? And I'm going to give you two here today. One is your own copy of the flash with your name in it. That's a great reaction. That's your chumash, which the Torah is our guide in life, and this chumash would be your reference book and your guide in life, and also a pocket siddur, a siddur that you can take with you, again with your name in it, and it will be a wonderful guide in life for you in the many, many years to come. Mazal Tov to you, Noah. I'd like to invite your family, your family, your immediate family to come join us on the Bima to offer you some blessings. So it's there's a tradition of offering a blessing to our children every Friday night, when we celebrate the Mitzvah, we have the parents and siblings offer the blessing to their son, to their sibling on this occasion. So.
May the Lord bless you and guard you. May the Lord show you favor and be gracious unto you. May the Lord show you kindness and correct you. Amen. Amen.
And we also have a tradition of reciting the Shechina, a prayer of thanksgiving, when for this occasion. So I'd like to ask the parents and Zoe to recite together with Noah, and ask the immediate family to stand as well, to recite together with them. Everyone is invited to join us downstairs for a celebration of Noah's becoming our Mitzvah. Singers would like you to join me next year. That was a gift.